All right, all right. Settle down, everybody, settle down. Happy Monday. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 20,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance. Why would we do this? Because trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results, but please stay small, stay humble. Focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. This water. It's only water, but oh my God, that is so good. So good morning. My name is Wayne. How's that look? Is it okay? My name is Wayne. I'm a currency trader. Before that, I was a venture capitalist. Before that, I was a high-tech entrepreneur. Before that, I ran a nonprofit organization of 3,000 people in 27 offices across the United States of America. George Soros sat on our board of directors. Before that, I worked at NASA. Also worked at companies like Cisco Systems, Apple Computer. Yeah, neat. Oh, and I also had 2 paper routes. Yep, very cool. So anywho, that's me. How are you doing? We have a new week. We have a lot of risk this week. We have a lot of central banks talking. We also have CPI tomorrow. Yeah. So anywho, yeah, it's not going to be a boring week. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for your positive energy and your professionalism. I think the Forex.Today community is makes the world a better place. So let me know how we can help. Today, I suggest we just burn through some charts. Huh? Keep it nice and simple. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Sure. Cool. Right on. Let's get on with it. Let's start with the longer term point of view. Okay, and I'll just show you where we are, longer point of view. From this point of view, still technically bearish. This is not the Kiwi versus the US dollar. This is the Kiwi versus everything. You can see it's done well over the last few days. This little move here. But on the longer run, still quite bearish, don't you think? Coming up to the top of the channel, in which we may want to consider selling. Now, of course, maybe this is in play. All right, well, we'll find out. Great big pig doing well since about March or April. And this might be explained by, like, let's say the Fed nearing the end of their rate cycle and pound is still lagging. If you remember or recall, if you're a QuantBox subscriber, by the way, the link to QuantBox is in the description below. You'll know that we still have 10% inflation in the UK. So they're going to have to raise interest rates. Yeah. So that's what's going on there. Longer term yen is still quite weak. Okay. Quite a trend, huh? I'd almost want to draw another one like this move here. Where's my drawing tool? Whoa. Okay, here we go. This point here, I'd almost want to remove it as an outlier. It'd be interesting to see if the actual top and bottom is more like this. Because remember how it's calculating the standard deviation. It calculates the mean, then it calculates the variance, and this is part of the variance calculation. Because on that occasion, it moved away from the mean much higher than it did on other moves, but then reverted back to the mean quite quickly. So that's going to be part of the variance, which pulls, like it creates these gaps. So, but, well, alas, I can't. It did happen. By the way, would anyone here like some artificial intelligence to check your trade plan before you make your trade? Get some quick feedback on your trade plans? Would you like some AI to review it for you before you take the shot? Imagine you could say, I want to sell here at this price. I want to put my stop there, and I want to put my limit here. What do you think? That's what QuantBox is. No, that is not what that is. But what if it was like you were showing your trade plan to a fellow trader? Well, the thing is, if you guys say yes, if enough people say yes, I'm going to develop it. But if nobody wants it, I don't need to do it because my first thought is it would be a free service. But it costs a lot of money, right? Frank says, but can AI trade for you? That's not what I said. I said if you posted a trade plan, it can analyze it for you. And over time, it's going to get better and better at predicting. So I imagine a situation where you upload your chart, and then it creates a chart and you can compare the two. What you think versus what it thinks, as an example. As far as analyzing the chart now. And then, of course, your trade plan is your prediction. Over time, it'll get better and better at predicting what will happen next. So you're already trying to do it. And what it's going to do is watch your trade plan. So you post it, it'll give you instant feedback. It'll take seconds, right? It'll take 15, 20 seconds. And it'll respond. to your trade plan and give you some feedback. But it'll also watch. It's going to watch to see if it worked, and then it's going to remember, was that a good idea or a bad idea? And it's going to learn. So then it'll be able to get better and better and better and saying, this is what we think is going to happen next. And you're like, oh. Yeah. So anyways, that's my thought. I'm going to call it the Aiden Project. But if no one's going to use it, then why should I burn a bunch of money? But if you want to use it, that's what I'm thinking anyways. And I thought like you would do it just before you make a trade plan. You're like, let me check the AI. Let me check Aiden. Instead of calling it AI, I'm going to call it Aiden because it just sounds nicer. Have Aiden check your work for you. That's all. That's all it is. It'll check you, give you some feedback, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. Just like the last step before you pull the trigger. Because like I think it'll take 30 seconds, right? Less than 30 seconds, you'll have feedback. Yeah? Would you, honestly? Yep. Would you? Okay. Well, I have a final meeting. I probably have to make the decision today. I worked on it all weekend. I must have spent not all weekend. I must have spent 15 or 20 hours in meetings over the weekend on this. So I got to pull the trigger, drop the money bag, you know? But if nobody uses it, like all of a sudden I'm having big regrets. I'm like, oh my God, nobody's going to use this. I'm going to build this huge AI project and then like nobody's going to care. So all of a sudden I'm like, oh. I would like to have 1 million trade plans. I'd like for it to analyze 1 million trade plans. Because every single trade plan will make it smarter and it'll give you better and better recommendations over time. I'm going to teach it basic technical analysis. So at least it could say, hey, did you notice this? Did you notice that? Hey, this is a pennant pattern. And it could, very often it produces this. Or did you notice just in front of you, there's a potential for a bearish head and shoulders. Hey, did you notice this? Did you notice that? It's just going to look at it like you doing technical analysis. So I'm going to teach it how to do technical analysis. But it doesn't mean it can predict the future. That's not really what technical analysis does. It analyzes the past, right? Well, partially like AutoChartist, I guess, Kareem, but much better than that. Because AutoChartist, it just lays out the patterns and it understands the patterns. In this case, it's going to also not just watch your analysis and watch its analysis. So there's something called computer vision technology that is part of this AI. So it's not like ChatGPT. But there's a machine learning component that doesn't just analyze your chart and gives you feedback on your trading or on your trade plan, but it's also then going to watch the market and see if your trade is successful or not. And trade after trade after trade after trade, it's going to see these patterns. So it's watching the future and going, this failed, this failed, this failed, this failed, this worked, this failed, this failed, this worked. And it's going to see the mistakes and the successes of the aggregate of all traders in all market conditions in all asset classes, and it will get better and better and better. Because it's watching, it's going to be learning. And it'll give you better and better and better results. I think it'd be amazing to analyze a million trades, huh? Okay. John says everyone will care if you run it. Well, the thing is, it's AI. It's not going to be me. Yeah. Maida says it's an amazing idea. That's cool. I appreciate that. So anyway, so yeah, I got to do a follow-up meeting. All right. Well, and if you're watching a recording, leave your thoughts in the comments below the video. No. I'm not going to make it do anything. I'm gonna help you improve your trade planning skills through artificial intelligence. That's what it's for, Matthew. All right. Yeah, stock market's going to be important to today. Nazi's still very, very, very bullish. Oh, I see. Thank you, John. Yeah, cool. Right on, John. I see what you're saying. I appreciate that. I like the idea of second opinions, really. If it took less than 30 seconds, and then I realized if you used it on every trade, it would actually be doing your trade journaling for you. Right? But if it took less than 30 seconds, like you're like, what do you think of this trade idea? And it sent you a whole new chart. And it's like, this is what we see. And you're like, oh, you agree with it? You disagree with it? Maybe you missed something. Maybe you can change something. But it just like you input your idea, boom, 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 spits out its idea using technical analysis, right? And you're like, cool, man. Like it might be very interesting to get that second opinion. All right. So anywho, we've blown through that M3. So really, right above us right now at 14.8, we have resistance. But what this pattern is saying, and maybe AI will say things like this too. What the expected move is to go up here. What did I say? 18? 18.5? What did I think I just blurted out a wrong number, but whatever. Yeah, so, I said 18, 14.8. Maybe I said the right thing, 14.8. Anyways, what this pattern suggests, okay, what technical analysis suggests now is that the NASDAQ goes all the way up to almost 17. Okay? Again, not a prediction. That's just what the chart says. Andrew says, my 3D ideas? Which 3D idea? Okay, so anyways, it'd be interesting if that's where we're, where we are. I would still expect that this could create a dipsy-do. Or if this whole bullishness that we're in, that we've had all year, ends, then what changes now as the target is this. We have an inside move. Okay? It doesn't feel like that's what's getting priced in, but I wouldn't be shocked if we actually end up something more like this for a bit. Like the rest of summer. Okay. So 14,859 on the NASDAQ is coming up hot and fast. We're almost there. Probably hit it by the Fed meeting. And it's super important, I think. Okay. So outcome, oops, I didn't want that. I want you to just think of this strategically. Oops. Okay, outcome A looks like this. And at least on the short run, I think I'm going to, instead of just make this down and then back up, I'm going to make it more like short run consolidation, or meaning medium run. Let's say, a couple of months. Okay. We do something like this. And we get into a 12, 5, 15. 15,000 on the top, 12.5 on the bottom range. How do you guys feel about that? Yes, Luthando. Okay. Yeah. Just one idea. Again, I'm concerned. I still have recessionary concerns. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I still need to manage that tail risk, if you will. Meanwhile, when we look at the S&P 500, it's at a much better price for selling. So if we were to compare apples to apples, NASDAQ is about here right now, and S&P 500 is down here. So this NASDAQ's almost at R1, which means it's, if you consider it overvalued, it's more overvalued than the S&P 500. Right now we're on the M3, and that's the best selling price a bear could hope for. I'm not necessarily a bear. I think there's bearish risk. and that could definitely be a real outcome. And if you were going to make that trade, this 4,327 is my line in the sand, and we're there now, like now. And we have a Fed meeting in 48 hours. Like, we have CPI tomorrow, isn't it? Isn't it CPI tomorrow? Or is that also Wednesday? I think they have it the day before the Fed meeting. But anyways, yeah. So I'm like, bro, dude, brothers and sisters, right? I don't think that these are prices that should be ignored. If I drop onto a 15-minute chart, I drew this last night in the day trading group, okay? I don't think we were quite there yet, but we definitely hit my price. So I guess we met, I guess, somewhere in here. So I drew this at the upper bounds of this range, current range, technical range, price range, not market range. My 4327 is based on market range, not price range. So I'll show you that. There you go. That's okay. And so anyways, here's the price range. Here's the market range. And the idea is we could get ourselves in a little bit of a range. And these are breakout prices. So I've trapped the S&P 500. Let's say that around that 1327 down to 4,327, and down here at 4,250. And not because it's a midpoint psych level. What I did, I have to go into a daily candle, a weekly candle, I think. And I zoom in. Yeah. And I've trapped it between the week, right? I'll move this up to encapsulate the market resistance. And so now what I'm suggesting that is important technically, we know this will have a lot to do with what happens on Wednesday, but I would propose, technically this should continue going up. Okay. But if this has a little breakout session, and these are weekly, so over the next week or two, if we break below this price, that gets pretty interesting. Right? Thank you, Highlander. Yeah. Angel, it's right on the meetup page. So let me get their community, FXBC meetups. Okay. So here's today's, 4 o'clock. And look, guys, you have to use the tool properly as well. If you're coming to, and by the way, I'm not talking to you, Angel, that way, but this is to everybody now. You need to RSVP. So I've RSVP'd to every meeting. So what it does is two things. It reminds you and it sends you the link. Because to get in the room, you have to click private room or use the link that you were emailed to. Okay, don't click on this. You got to go to the private rooms or be emailed the private link, which means you have to actually RSVP so you get the reminders. A lot of people are like, oh, I just want to log in. No, dude, RSVP, right? RSVP. So, yeah. Yeah. So you can see Sunday was the 11th. Yes, we had a Sunday day trading meeting at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Okay, 20 people attended. And the video was right here. Happy Sunday. All right, I'll stop playing the piano now. All right, good. How are you? All right, somebody's got a hot mic. Who is it? Oh, I guess it's just me now. All right, cool. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a Sunday. What are you doing working? Well, let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, and not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small. You can also go full screen. Never risk money, cannot afford to lose. Let me get my drawing tool. By the way, what would you think of a site, if there was a website where you could just... Okay. Anywho, neat, right? So this is what we do. Here's us looking at that Aussie yen last night. So there you go, Angel. It's nice, right? Yeah. FX Bootcamp rocks, man. It's pretty good. Anywho. So let's go back to this. I'm looking at this as a trap and break type strategy, if you will. Like these prices are important. Now, of course, what is probably going to happen is the trend continues. Why? Well, I'm a trend trader. But should I ignore the fact that this is a selling price, that there's a Fed meeting, and I believe there's a recession coming? No. So it's more like a binary thought process of if it falls like this, then I believe it big time. And I could be short at least a quarter, maybe 2 quarters. Okay? So you got to be ready, willing, and able, okay, to drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah, I did the wrong one, didn't I? No, I guess that was right. So this market has been bullish since April 1st. Okay. Yep, there you go. And House is aimlessly looking for a meeting. Yeah, had not RSVP'd. Yeah, well, there you go. So yeah, make sure you RSVP. You just go click, 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 right? And your RSVP, like if you RSVP for the Sunday meeting, you're RSVP'd for all Sunday meetings until you un-RSVP. So it's not that bad, right? It's not like you have to do it every single day, right? Okay. When we talked about the second quarter outlook, I did say that the typical trend for the S&P 500 in the second quarter is up. Okay? Can anybody confirm when that could change? And I remember like way back in March when we talked about it. We said the S&P 500 has a high likelihood of going up in the second quarter. When does it when is the probability of that upward to end? Does anyone remember? Lewis, I'm talking about it right now if you're listening. Ashish says, at the end of March, I indicated the high probability of the S&P 500 going up all the way till July 1st. Can anybody confirm that? I'm just talking about, well, when? Yeah, like when would it stop going up? Yeah, July 1st. Well, I always make a big stink of it. I say all the way to Canada Day. It's a big day in Canada. I can't find any good pictures. I was going to show you Canada Day celebrated in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Uh, but there's no good pictures. It's just funny, though. Yeah, no, seriously, there's a place called Moose Jaw. It's nice. Good people. All right, so let me get back. There's the chart. Oh, great. Now, me being goofy, I lost the live stream. Oh, there it is. Okay. Frank says, yep, that's true. And it'll change in the second half of the year. Yep. Yep. So strange, right? Strange, isn't it? And you can see there was down and then consolidation for a week or so, and then the move started before. This is why I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what the Fed is going to do. I don't know how they're going to make the statement after they do what they do. I don't know what they're going to tell us future risks or policies going to be. And I don't know how people are going to react to all of this because very often they react emotionally. So I'm not going to portray that I know what's going to happen over the next, let's say, 4 weeks. But it could do something like that, just in inverse. We're at the right price. and we're at the right time. So now it's like if we have consolidation and then a change, well, this is Canada Day, my friend. I guess I should do it in a nice red, right? There we go. That's Canada Day, bro. Bro, good deal, bro. Huh? Come on, guys. All right. So if it happens like it did here, should I be aware of the importance? Yes. Because you know others, what did they do here in this situation? They sold it here, didn't they? And they probably sold it here. And they probably sold it here or something. And they keep thinking like they think the S&P 500 should fall. You shouldn't think that way. You could have a bias, but you should also let reality lead the way. And it should have some importance to you that on the last day of March, S&P 500 technically, under my definitions of bullishness, became bullish. The day before it was predicted to turn bullish. So you could be a bear here, and you know, I'm a very, very, very cautious bull, and I'm ready for this to be a bear. But the thing is, we use technical analysis for a reason. And this is crazy bullish. For this to reverse, it has to come down, then it has to go up, then it needs to come down to where the future 55 is, then it needs to come up, and then it needs to go down to the future 200. So let me draw this out so it makes more sense. Beep, 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 right? Beep, 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 beep. And beep, 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 beep. And this gets a short June 25th at 7:42 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay. Yes, I think so, John. So we have to build that part of it, or, you know, so I really have to pull the trigger on this AI project today, guys. So let me know if I should spend many thousands of dollars. But yes, I think, yes, the technical analysis, yes. So what we'll do is we'll take your chart and clean it up and put, like, the first step is to analyze your chart. Okay? So what it should do is, so it takes your chart, let's say you submit something that looks like this. Okay? And we're like, and you input your trade plan, and they're like, okay. So now we're going to then generate our own chart. So we'll create something like this and then say, well, we want to maybe add a few other indicators to it. So, you know, so we'll add these moving averages, and then it would likely start analyzing by looking at trend. So I literally wrote out y equals mx plus b with the programmer over the weekend, and he was like, yes, of course, that's easy. Great, which I love, right? And so, like, how's a computer going to look at it and say, well, what's average? What's the change in average? What's the variance from the average? what's the slope, because it's going to say mathematically, is it up or down? Okay, and by how much? So you're going to have to create a score almost, right? Like from, let's say, very bearish, right, to very bullish, and everything in between, right? So I imagine there could be some sort of learning process of the greater the slope, right? So you have a slope equal to, so m is equal to 0, or m is greater than 0, m is less than 0, and then weight it to say, is it very, 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 very bearish or very, very, very bullish? And you would start with that, right? And so once you get here, so we might say, well, QuantBox might say, not QuantBox, sorry, Aiden might tell you, hey, this might be overbought, and don't be shocked if we start to move down. Where if it's down here, Aiden might tell you, hey, this is still technically in an uptrend and it's quite oversold. Don't be shocked if it reverts back this way, and draw that on you, right? Then we could then add another layer, or AI could add another layer and say, no, wait, I don't want to change the template. Insert indicator custom. Okay. And it might, hang on, I can't talk at the same time. So I use price action pivot points. I'll show you. It's going to it's going to do it in a very similar fashion, right? All right. But the next thing I would want to probably add, or Aiden will want to add, is the, let's say these. Okay, so Aiden might say, well, okay, so you're a bull. That's cool. This is trending up. This is technically up, but it's also trending up. The slope is this. Okay, so you have, right, the slope of the channel is high. The slope of the moving average is very high. This is very bullish. You're a buyer. That's cool. But, did you know this is a high probability price zone of profit taking? And you may not have noticed, but you're also 2 standard deviations above the mean, in which there's a high probability of a reversion soon. Okay, that kind of stuff. Then it's, okay, that's kind of like step 1 or phase 1 of Aiden kind of pointing out technical analysis so that you can see what you're doing versus what it's doing. Okay. But then the second thing, in second phase, is that you might have said you wanted to buy here, put your stop here, and your target's here. Cool. And so Aiden says, well, there's a high risk of reversal coming or profit taking coming. So, be careful. But it's also then going to watch it. It's going to learn from your trade. And you might be in this little trade and it goes dip, dip, dip. Okay, winner, chicken dinner. And then it comes back around. It's going to notice. Okay. Oh, right on, Brian. It's going to notice and it's going to remember. The problem with the human is we don't remember hardly anything. Was that a good double negative? Right? We forget. This is how I write. The humans forget 99.9% of everything. But what if this sucker, Aiden, okay, our buddy Aiden, a fellow technical analyst like you and I. And Aiden not just critiques, but it learns and remembers everything. And every time we say, hey, Aiden, check out this trade. What do you think? It goes, and it'll send you a new chart. Check this out. You're like, oh, thank you, man. That's cool. But then it's going to watch and watch and watch and learn and learn and learn and learn and learn and learn and learn. So the second stage of it will not just provide you technical analysis, but it because it's learning, it'll get better at predicting, and it'll actually draw the future out for you through machine learning. So there's an AI component and a machine learning component, which they're similar but different. But it'll actually, no joke, watch the market, which means we have to get real-time market data pulled all the time. And it does all the math. It's not looking at a chart. We'll have all the price time data, so all that price time series, and it's watching every candlestick and tracking every trade and learning from every win and loss that we make in our trade plans. I'm fascinated by that. I'm like, really? It's going to remember every trade? Uh-huh. Okay, so, but you got to promise me you're going to use it. And remember, my plan is to make it free. And I think it should take less than 30 seconds. The way I imagine is you input your trade plan, and then you go to your Gmail, and your feedback is already waiting. I'm thinking it might take 15 seconds. And just like, boom, it's in your Gmail. Here it is. Your feedback is ready for review. And I would just put it in the email so you don't even have to then go back and log back in and all that. No. Boom. We'll just email it to you. Boom. There it is. So, let me know if I should build it for you. Step 1, analysis. Step 2, projection. And with that, I guess I will see you tomorrow. Maida's like, if you can imagine it, it will become reality. Well, the first step is imagining it. The second one is finding a way to have it built. And third, boatloads of money is usually very helpful, right? So help me avoid making a mistake. If you're not going to use it, let me know. If you are going to use it, let me know. I don't want to waste time and money. I got enough to do. Okay? So let me know in the comments. Okay? Yeah. And the expectation is somewhere like 4 to 6 weeks. Maida's like stoicism. Yeah. All right. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. My name is Wayne McDonald. I'm a real human. I'm not artificial intelligence. This is real. And I appreciate you in my life. There's so much more to be done. So many wonderful things to do. And I do believe we're moving into a whole new chapter in human history. kind of like the internet. Right? Kind of like the internet. It just hit us, and it was hard to imagine how impactful it was. Well, it seems to me, if I was around for the internet days, hey, AI is that next new step. I'm appalled. Let me say it this way. I'm appalled that we built the internet and what we use it for is sharing pictures of our cat and our vacation and our breast implants. Wow, that's what we use this technology for, huh? Well, we need an improvement. I think AI is that next step. Yep. Finally, a use of all this computer power and communication and all this data. The history of the human existence is documented on the internet. And now we have something that could actually utilize it. And if it's not you and me that can fully utilize all the information of human history that's all sitting on a server somewhere, then now we have the technology that can do it for us. And boy, oh boy, we need to use that in trading, don't we? At least a feedback machine, right? Yeah. Yeah, well, you know what? I want it to learn from, here's how I think of it. I want it to learn from me. I want to teach it how to trade. That's my first step. The second step is I want it to help me trade better, make better decisions. I want it to look over my shoulder, grade me, watch me, provide me feedback, point things out, assist. People have this illusion that AI is just going to do everything. And then once it realizes we benefit and it does all the work, then it's going to turn against us. It's kind of silly. I think of it as for those that it's an amazing assistant that allows you to focus on productivity and creation. It's one way to really open up your brain and be able to talk. Okay? That's the next thing. I have another AI project that I want to do too, where I want to just be able to talk to a machine. I don't want to type. I don't want it to do a search engine. I don't want to search and sort through a Google post. I just want to sit and ask a computer questions. And it gathers all the information for me, and I have a conversation. That's all I want. And we have that technology. Oh, I'm not disconcerted, right, Lewis? But I look at it from another point of view. I see it as a liberator. The internet made creativity better, lowered costs. I can build a website for nothing, almost instantly. And when I first started in the internet business, it was very, very expensive. Okay? We take all this for granted. One of my first businesses was taking video and PowerPoint presentations, putting it on the internet, and charging a monthly subscription. Now you're like, Wayne, that's a joke. What are you talking about? You can do that for a nickel, free even. And it's so easy. You're like, dude, what kind of business is that? When I ran that business, it was impossible. I used advanced technology that could take video and PowerPoint presentations and sync them at the same time. That cost a lot of money, by the way. And the second step was to charge a monthly fee, and only those that paid would watch the video. That was nearly impossible. And then sending out emails and to alert people and tell them of the next video coming and all that. Well, that was, once again, all new technology. To be able to even send an email with images was a big deal. And then have a list. And then, did people even read your email? This was all bonkers when I was a high-tech entrepreneur in the Silicon Valley. And now you're like, dude, that's so ridiculously simple and cheap. You could be up and running with that business today. Today, like, not even joking. And for like $100 investment, maybe a $30 investment, maybe a $20 investment. So I just want to just point out, like, we're in that stage with AI, and we should be using it appropriately, ethically, but in the right way. We shouldn't be afraid. We shouldn't think it's going to do everything for us and make us rich. That's stupid too. Okay? But it should empower you as a trader that has more and better intelligence than the other 95% in the market. They're still winging it. They're still making it up on the fly. They're still using gut instinct. They're still reacting. They're still uninformed or partially informed. Okay? That's where I think we are, that you can be empowered as a trader with better market intelligence than your competitor on the other side of your trade. And I think it's a worthy experiment. That's why I want to make it a project, and I want to make it free. But you can't be afraid. You got to be excited. So, anywho, I got to go and work on that project and do the watch this open. So and we are almost there. Just to be clear, I'm going to try to get trades on and then jam my stop at break even and hope the Fed meeting goes my way. But I'm not so sure. So I'm open-minded to doing it. And if I'm going to take the risk, I'm going to get paid. I'm not going to take 25. I either make 300 or I make nothing. Is my attitude, because the Fed will probably provide some volatility. Okay, great. After the Fed meeting, by Friday, I'll have a better sense of what's going on in the world and whether seasonality is going to kick in. And we talked a lot about seasonality at QuantBox this morning. So that video is on the QuantBox YouTube channel at 10 a.m. It'll be released, but we did it at 6:30 this morning. So if the seasonality kicks in, we're already RWA on that. I don't know if it will, but if it is, we got that. We're on Friday's trade mentally. Okay? So what happens the next couple of days? I don't know. I might try to get a trade on, but I'm already set for Thursday or Friday mentally. Okay? Just so you know. So I just want to make that clear. But thank you for being part of the Forex.Today YouTube community. You can find me at FX Bootcamp. You can find me at QuantBox. You can find me at tradersway.com. Is there anything where else? No, that's pretty good. FX Bootcamp, QuantBox, Traders Way. Okay. And potentially, if you promise to use it, tradeplans.ai, aka the Aiden project, will begin soon. So we'll give birth to Aiden, our technical analyst, huh? So anyways, have a wonderful day. I'll see you when I see you. By the way, this is a YouTube ad.